I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. We need the cops here as soon as possible.
His legs look quite frail. It could be the duct tape that's wrapped tightly around his ankles.
I'm as shocked as anybody. Her and Ruby were just the two wrong things to come together.
Ruby Franke wasn't just a YouTube mom. She was a parenting drill sergeant with a camera.
I am kind of a crazy mom in that I love my kids to wear red, white, and blue.
Her channel, 8 Passengers, started in 2015 and quickly became internet famous for its clean-cut image. 6 well-behaved kids, chore charts, and wholesome family bonding.
I think the kids are more excited about the presents the siblings are getting than the ones they're getting.
But behind the matching outfits and carefully edited vlogs was a woman running her home like a boot camp. And her kids? The unpaid cast.
Have to vote. Listen, if you do not vote for what fun you want, we will ensure you will have no fun at all.
Ruby calmly explains how she withheld lunch from her kid for forgetting to pack it himself.
Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, so the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry.
What started as quirky parenting became performative punishment, and audiences loved it for a while. Her channel gained over 2 million subscribers, bringing her money, influence, and power.
8 Passengers was the wild ride of the Franke family, with over 2 million subscribers over the years.
But here's the catch. When your parenting brand is strict, there's a thin line between discipline and child abuse. Ruby didn't just cross that line, she vlogged it.
In your pockets so you can take them down to the hamper and drop and give me 10.
1.
Put your hands straight out. They're in. They're not supposed to be out. Shape your hands forward. There you go.
On YouTube, 8 Passengers looked like the picture of suburban Mormon perfection. A cheerful mom, 6 overly disciplined kids, a husband who silently agreed with everything, and of course, a never-ending supply of family life lessons nobody asked for. From morning routines to chore charts, Ruby Franke's channel thrived off one thing: total control, clean rooms, packed lunches, obedience. Not just encouraged, but demanded.
But you yelled at me.
Shh! The fact that I yell at my kids is a secret!
And for a while, it worked. The channel racked up 2.5 million subscribers, 1 billion plus views, and a cult-like fan base who genuinely thought Ruby was the Mother Teresa of parenting, if Mother Teresa believed in publicly shaming kids for eating snacks. But behind the smiling thumbnails and perfectly edited videos was a chilling reality. Ruby wasn't just raising kids, she was running a dictatorship.
One more thing in my house. I'm going to take the scissors, look at me, and I'm going to cut its head off.
Grandma will be so mad.
Not allowing your 6-year-old to eat for forgetting his lunch? That wasn't parenting. That was abuse, and viewers were starting to notice. No friends, no toys, and grounded for 7 months. For a kid? Let that sink in.
No, I have no friends.
You can play with friends.
No, like I don't have friends.
I don't have friends either. I don't even know where they live. They're pretty far away.
So, summer goal, become the best athlete I possibly can.
How do you feel about not having any friends?
Sucks, but I don't feel safe or accepted in any friend groups. So.
Behind the Pinterest-perfect thumbnails was a dictatorship disguised as discipline. And let's be honest, the more extreme the punishment, the better it performed. Ruby didn't cross the line between parenting and exploitation. She monetized the destruction of her kids' dignity, and YouTube rewarded it, viewers watched it, and for years nobody stopped it.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October.
Just when things couldn't get worse, Jody Hildebrandt. A therapist with a God complex, Jody ran a counseling group called Connections Classroom. Think therapy meets religious extremism. She preached that kids are born sinners, pain is purification, and obedience should hurt, emotionally, spiritually, and physically.
Hi, I'm Jody Hildebrandt. I am at the second annual Women's Retreat in St. George, Utah.
And Ruby? She soaked it up like gospel. Soon, Ruby cut off her husband, exiled her kids, and joined forces with Jody to launch Moms of Truth.
Hi, we are live in Mapleton, Utah, and we have Ruby here.
A rebrand so toxic, it made 8 passengers look like a parenting manual.
We have spent 24 hours between the 2 days talking about how to recognize distortion and move it into truth.
They weren't just justifying abuse, they were spiritualizing it. No sleepovers, no phones, no apologies, no privacy. Her children weren't nurtured, they were controlled, and they streamed it all. Facebook Lives, YouTube lectures, public humiliation turned into content.
There were people who were concerned about the things that she was doing to punish her children. She had her son who left his socks outside, made him do push-ups.
Ironically, while preaching accountability, they filmed what would become one of the most public cases of self-incrimination in internet history. Like, imagine live streaming your own felony and adding a thumbnail. Their videos weren't just disturbing, they were damning. And finally, one brave child escaped and blew the whole thing open.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help.
By 2023, Ruby Franke's content had gone from strict parenting to straight-up disturbing. But it wasn't a video that took her down. It was a child escaping a nightmare.
Oh, there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty. And he asked us to call the police. So he's very afraid.
On August 30th, 2023, a 12-year-old boy fled Jody Hildebrandt's house in Evans, Utah. He was malnourished, bruised, with duct tape wounds on his wrists and ankles. He begged a neighbor for food, water, and help, saying he'd been locked in a room for months.
By listening to that 911 call, which still haunts me to this day as a father of a 2-year-old myself, the neighbor, an older gentleman, extremely compassionate in this situation and can't believe what has just stumbled upon his doorstep.
The kid was emaciated. He had open wounds. This wasn't tough love. This was torture.
This kid has obviously been, I think he's been detained. He's obviously covered in wounds. We need the cops here as soon as possible.
Police arrived and found another one of Ruby's kids inside, also starving, injured, and isolated. The perfect mom image shattered in an instant.
My friend, Pam Botcher.
There's 2. There's one other sibling that we're still looking for, considered still as dangerous, and DCFS has a warrant to take them both into custody. Pam was seen picking up in the Springville Rec Center around 1:15 today, and that's how we kind of figured that out and had you guys go out there.
I'm looking for Pam. Is Pam in today?
Yeah, that's my wife.
Is your wife? She's here?
Talking about serious bodily injury, and you get to the aggravated child abuse portion of it, which is a second-degree felony. That's a 1 to 15-year sentence.
Ruby and Jody were arrested on 6 counts of felony aggravated child abuse. Suddenly, the wholesome vlogs looked more like digital evidence. Starvation, confinement, and emotional warfare, all hiding in plain sight.
I think that a 4-year minimum for Ruby's actions are entirely appropriate. I hope that Jody serves more time than that, and I hope that she isn't out of prison until everybody is completely confident that she's no longer a risk.
Even Ruby's daughter, Franke, spoke out, revealing they'd tried to intervene for years.
Ruby was really physical, like, whether it was like a slap to the lip or a slap to the cheek. When I would practice the piano, like her hand would slam, and like, it was really scary.
Now, she was publicly celebrating her mom's arrest. The truth wasn't just ugly, it was criminal. Once news of the arrest broke, Ruby Franke's YouTube persona shattered. This wasn't just a cancel culture, this was handcuffs, mugshots, and a courtroom in Utah. Court documents painted a grim picture. Kids forced to sleep on floors, denied food for days, locked away, all under the label of therapy from Jody Hildebrandt, Ruby's twisted guide. Jody wasn't just a therapist, she was a manipulator who turned parenting into punishment.
She was just punishing me
and trying to control my life. When I started to ask certain questions, she just changed everything.
In December 2023, Ruby pled guilty to 4 counts of felony child abuse. No denial, no teary apology video, just guilt. And in February 2024, both she and Jody were sentenced to 4 to 30 years in prison, a range that left many wondering, is that really justice? Her kids didn't just lose toys or screen time. They suffered years of trauma. And yet in court, Ruby showed no remorse. Just a bizarre speech about repentance and divine accountability, like duct taping a child had God's blessing.
To my babies, my 6 little chicks, you are part of me.
Jody got the same sentence. 2 women, once preaching family values, now behind bars for turning discipline into domination. The most chilling part? It all started with videos on how to be a better parent. Ruby's in prison, Jody's in prison, and 8 passengers is gone. But what about the ones left behind? The loudest voice post-arrest? Sherry Franke, Ruby's eldest daughter. Her first response? 1 word on Instagram. Finally. That caption said everything. The starvation, the trauma, the locked doors. It wasn't speculation. It was her childhood. Sherry called the cops.
Hi, my name is Sherry Franke. My 4 younger siblings are living in Springville, and my neighbors have been telling me that they have been left home alone for about 4 or 5 days.
She ended the horror story her mom tried to package as a parenting tutorial. In 2025, Sherry announced her memoir, 1,000 Doors, a raw dive into what life was really like behind those curated thumbnails. She told Good Morning America she felt used as content, emotionally manipulated under the guise of family love. The remaining Franke kids, placed in state custody, CPS involved, years of therapy and rebuilding ahead. Meanwhile, the internet turned inward, asking hard questions. How many family vloggers are doing this? Just better at hiding it? Should parents be allowed to monetize their kids at all? The Hulu documentary Devil in the Family blew the lid off the whole system, brand deals, fake smiles, and an audience that cheered abuse in HD. This wasn't just a bad mom story. It was a platform failure. Now YouTube faces real scrutiny. Child labor laws, content oversight, and platform ethics are on the table. Because Ruby didn't fall from grace, she live-streamed the descent with millions watching. Now we're left asking the question no one wants to say out loud. Was Ruby Franke the exception or the rule? Because while headlines scream Monster Mom arrested, Ruby was never alone. She was just the one who got caught. Family vloggers are still out here filming tantrums, punishments, even breakdowns, and we act like it's normal. Family vlogging is a business. Record your kid's morning routine, add music, plug a Target haul, and suddenly it's money, sponsorships, renovations. But the cost? Privacy, consent, childhoods. These kids didn't sign up to be influencers. They didn't ask to be filmed, crying, or embarrassed in front of millions. YouTube gave parents a way to exploit their kids, and the audience clicked, liked, and shared. Ruby didn't create this system. She revealed it. And now some countries are finally taking action. France passed child influencer laws in 2020. The US, still behind. The irony? Ruby preached moral parenting while her children suffered for views. Now she's in prison and they're left to heal. So next time you see a family vlog with a clickbait thumbnail about a kid's meltdown, ask yourself, is this parenting or exploitation? Ruby Franke wanted the spotlight. She wanted to be right, to be admired, to be followed, literally and figuratively. And she got all of it. Until the internet turned the lights off and the law kicked the door in, because when your brand is perfect parenting, but your kids are malnourished, duct-taped, and begging neighbors for food, yeah, your YouTube plaque won't save you. The internet can make you famous, but it never forgets who you really are. Ruby Franke isn't just a cautionary tale about family vlogging, she's a reminder that chasing online fame with no boundaries always ends the same: exposed, canceled, or in her case, convicted. So next time you watch a family vlog that feels a little too personal, a little too edited, or a little too controlling, remember Ruby. And maybe don't click.